Welcome to Pegwarmers. I'm Kevin.
I'm Tony from Act the Movies.
And I'm Ryan from Monster FX.
We're here to talk about toys. Today, we're talking about Stargate, the 1995 Hasbro toy line.
Ah, yes, Stargate. What a classic. What a classic film that was.
The best of the best.
You know, it didn't become a big film franchise like it had intended, but it became a big sci-fi franchise.
The TV show did really, really well.
I think
multiple
it has,
TV
like,
shows.
17 seasons.
Wow.
Yes.
Like, that is insane.
Is that counting Stargate Atlantis, Stargate this,
I have
Stargate?
no
They're still
idea.
doing
It's
Stargate
crazy.
stuff.
And they're doing a reboot. They're working on a reboot. I think it's a reboot film right now.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, because the show is kind of like, the show wasn't super in continuity. It like continues the story of the first movie, but then it's kind of like the Buffy the Vampire show. It just
Yeah.
kind of references the first movie, but it's its own thing. But yes, Stargate toys.
Stargate toys. So, off the bat, these are very screen inaccurate. I think that's an understatement, but I think it has to be said up front.
Yes, it's been a minute since I've watched it. It was actually the second episode of my podcast.
Okay.
I did it with Ryan, who's been on this show. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these toys. I'm like, okay, well, I remember that monster thing. I don't remember it being so dressed up and having a cart with a catapult on it.
Oh, if you take the toy out, that thing looks ugly.
Really?
It's got,
has
like,
a
yarn
rug.
hair.
Yeah,
Like-
it's like something glued to it. It's so
Also,
bad.
Did they have
I don't
cars?
think they had a
No.
vehicle.
No
at
I don't
all.
think they drove a car through the Stargate. There wasn't a scene where they're like doom buggying up the ramp on the Stargate.
So, I have a theory that Hasbro had the team at Kenner Toys design this toy line.
Okay.
So Hasbro had bought Kenner at a certain point, and there was a lot of internal conflict between the two teams. Like, the old school Hasbro employees decided to do G.I. Joe Star Brigade to
Okay.
compete with Kenner doing Power of the Force before it came out, because it was still all owned by Hasbro, but there
Oh.
was like internal team dynamics. And
Okay.
just by the chunkiness of this and the way they look like Power of the Force, like, it's two vehicles, it's a beast, it's figures, it's very much a Power of the Force kind of
They're very,
imitation.
very too muscular.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
that's my theory.
That was the thing with Power of the Force.
Oh, it's
Everyone was just shredded.
So cool.
super buff. So I think that's what happened with this line, but there is a ton of Hasbro reusage going on here. So,
Okay.
for instance, the all-terrain cruiser, which we have in the box,
Oh,
and a
you have
loose
it
one
out
over
of the
there,
box too. Okay.
it is a G.I. Joe All-Striker that's been modified.
I'm sorry,
I was
what?
wondering.
So the All-Striker can seat two figures, but the all-terrain cruiser is modified to only hold one because
Ow.
these guys are so much bigger than G.I. Joes.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, these are four. And a
They're
little
like
bit
about
bigger than
5
4,
inch, yeah, or four.
You're right.
4.5,
It
something.
literally,
And they're just
Yeah.
real wide.
it's just slightly different.
Yeah,
big shoulders.
Big shoulders. They can't fit in there. So
Yeah.
they changed it to a spring-loaded missile weapon
Okay.
and changed out the seat part on the
very-
Yeah.
inside. But that's not the only reusage. It's a lot of the accessories and things like that.
Okay.
Including, like, you mentioned the catapult over here.
Yeah.
The missile and the catapult thing is also a G.I. Joe accessory.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
that
built
makes
into
sense.
a sled, you know.
Well, even I was looking at Kurt Russell's character.
Yeah.
He's got like the gun, and it looks like it has pegs, like it would clip onto someone's belt, or it would like go into someone's back, or something like that.
but it
It
doesn't.
doesn't, and it's just everything. All the accessories look a little weird.
So
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's figure is probably the most accurate one in the
Mm-hmm.
toy line besides the bad guys. The bad guys actually are pretty decent, I think. But it kind of looks like Kurt Russell. He has a spring-loaded missile launcher, which came from a G.I. Joe. He's got a rifle here that belonged to Bullhorn, who was a G.I. Joe
Okay.
from the 90s.
Yeah.
And then he's got a little beret. And then an artifact. Collect the Stargate artifact. Each character came with a little, like, accessory,
Okay.
but
It's
they're not
cool.
actually from the show or from the movie, really. They're more based on the toy line.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that is a tiny Stargate.
it's a tiny Stargate.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's
There's, like,
actually in the movie.
A tiny ship, a tiny pyramid.
Yeah, actually, it reminds me of yes, Hasbro's Alien Resurrection. You would get an alien, but then you get like a tiny ship that goes with
Okay.
it. It's like
Yeah.
I can't put these two figures together.
Same
They're not
bad
compatible.
Idea, different toy line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they had made up artifacts or made something that looked like things they find in the movie,
Yeah.
like there are definitely stone tablets from the movie that are important.
Yeah.
Those things being
Yeah.
packed in would have made more sense. I feel like
Yeah. I have a question.
yes.
Did they not make a Stargate playset?
That's what I mean. That's what every set. I mean, the Aliens set, like
Yeah.
toys. So many of these like do these great vehicles and great everything. Everyone wants a playset. Even
Yeah.
if it's a terrible playset. I'd rather have a I don't know, Police Academy playset than have no Stargate. Like have no nothing.
That's the weirdest thing.
There's no Stargate and there's no like pyramid playset. Those are the two like most obvious
Yeah.
things to do, or maybe combine them somehow. Like have the
Yeah,
Stargate
like-
with a pyramid that lifts off the top, or
Which the
something.
Batman sets were like that. It could be
Right,
like
yeah.
Bruce Wayne's
Front-
thing or the
front and back.
Penguin's thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that I feel like money is on the table there.
A
That
Stargate, it could have been literally a Stargate that kind of spins and
Yeah.
a ramp up to the start. That could have been it, and you'd be like, "Wow!"
Have you seen
They
the
could have put
people
some
who-
lights and sounds in it. You know.
Have you seen the people who custom make Stargates?
Yes.
Oh my god, have you seen these?
No.
So they made like a statue of a Stargate, and then they have LEDs with a mirror. So when you turn it on, it just looks like an
It's like
endless
forever?
thing.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's
oh, that's
wild.
It's
cool.
really cool.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
I actually, it's funny. I have a couple. I have 2 Kurt Russell action figures in here. I have the McCready from the 2000s thing, and then I have the NECA one, which I've shown on this episode before.
Right. So there's a total of 4 heroes and 4 villains in
Okay.
the whole line. And you've got 2 vehicles and the Beast. So we talked about Colonel O'Neill here, who is basically Kurt Russell in his like military dress
Yeah,
uniform
he
from the
did
beginning
wear.
of the movie.
He did wear a beret and
He
everything.
did wear a
Yeah.
beret.
I think it's a little blacker from what I remember in the movie.
It's weird.
Yeah,
that
he's
they-
like more like blue or like a dark blue
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
gray. That one there, he's going full on black.
But it's at least a reasonable outfit,
Yeah.
I think, for him.
If I saw the movie and saw that, I could piece that together.
Right. I think
Yeah.
a kid would go, okay.
Whereas, I'm sorry, is this Horace here?
I think that's Ra. It might be. Ra.
That's Ra.
I think so. It's totally not
Whoever
the
it is-
likeness at all.
They weren't this jacked, and they definitely were not gold.
No.
They were not gold and purple, from what I remember.
The Horus figure I've got right here.
Okay.
They each came with like a removable helmet, which
Yeah.
I think works out really well for that. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of an obvious choice. It doesn't do anything fancy. It's not articulated or anything. But he comes with a missile launcher again. He comes with his own artifact, a sarcophagus artifact.
Ooh.
Not exactly sure what that does.
Here, can I see that?
And he's got his little staff, which is the
Yeah, their
obvious
guns-
go-to accessory.
Yeah.
Staff type accessories aren't that exciting for kids, so I get the spring-loaded missiles.
Yeah.
And the GI Joe brand was really big on spring-loaded missiles right
Hey.
near this time period. So that may have been an edict at Hasbro that they all needed the spring-loaded.
Oh, you're right. That is
the
Ra.
thing that drives me crazy, like there's the tooling and stuff, like the helmet, the separate beret, the separate hat for Daniel, and then the little artifacts. I'm like, you could have made like a really cool anything, like you said, tablets or
Something
something,
that-
that was actually in the movie.
Yeah, a MacGuffin for the movie.
Something.
Also,
anything.
Kind of spoils the movie. Because
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
know that they're just humans in the suits when you watch when you
Yeah.
go in blind to the first movie, because they have like articulate heads and whatnot. It isn't until like Ra basically takes his
Yeah.
Yeah.
mask
It's like
off
the
and they
big
all take their.
reveal.
So if I was walking in the store in 1994 and I saw this, I'd be like, well, I'm not going to see the movie now. It's spoiled for me.
That
I'm s-
happened to me with Dick Tracy. I was like, what? How? Oh, come on.
Real quick, Kowalski. Is that the French Stewart character from? I need to look this up, but continue,
don't
continue,
know.
because that is French Stewart's character. That looks nothing like French Stewart.
Kowalski is the other of the main 3 humans that go through the Stargate.
Yeah.
That kind of stick together. I don't know which actor it was.
I can't
but-
remember
Yeah,
which actor that
because
was.
I know French Stewart is in the movie. The guy from
He
Third
is,
Rock from
yeah.
the Sun.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, he's with the party that like comes through, but they stay near the Stargate.
Oh, gotcha.
And is
gotcha.
barely seen in the rest of the movie until like the final
Oh,
fight.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, it's been a few years. I
Yeah.
literally haven't watched it since I did my episodes. so
Gotcha.
I was gonna say if that's a roided up French Stewart, that's hilarious.
So we actually have the Kowalski figure here, and he looks like a pretty generic
Yeah.
GI Joe kind of character. He actually has a machine gun from the GI Joe line, a backpack, and a missile launcher from that line. His collectible item is the all-terrain cruiser artifact. So it's a little tiny toy of the toy from the toy line.
Yeah.
So like,
Good stuff.
I guess you could pretend it's an RC or
Yeah.
something, but like they actually used a remote controlled vehicle, that little robot with the crane arm to
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
investigate. That would have been a better pack-in.
That
than-
would have, yeah.
Than the Jeep.
I mean, I guess it's like they were hoping like, oh, well, someone's gonna collect them all, and they're gonna have a shelf full of these little things. But I don't know what kid would be like, I love these. Except for like, I guess they thought maybe Micro Machines was like
Maybe.
popular at the time.
Yeah.
But they don't move. They don't. I mean, the sculpture's great.
Well, we
but-
were kind of talking about it, I think, beforehand. Like this, it's not. It feels like it could be a movie that you can make a lot of toys out of, but not really.
It's not a super toyetic movie because
Yeah.
it's like an hour of plot and investigating
Yeah.
and just kind of people talking, and then there's 45 minutes at the end that feels like a action movie kids would get into.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they had a challenge, like, when they were shown this script, going, okay, there's no real aspirational hero. I mean, the main guy is like a guy who's sad because his kid got shot by
It's like
stage.
there's two heroes. The nerd, and then the guy who like didn't lock up his gun and got his son killed. It's like I want to be just like,
contemplating suicide. Like,
yeah, it's like
I wish he had a handgun with his action figure. That makes more sense than a mini Stargate.
Well, he should come with a pack of cigarettes and a lighter because he teaches a kid how to smoke in the movie.
So
But yeah, I'm thinking of
wild.
like the action beats. There aren't a lot early on. The first, like when they get attacked, is more like a horror thing.
Mhm.
It doesn't become like an action shoot 'em up thing until like when Ra is gonna like execute him and they
Right.
attack, and then you got the flying ships at the end. We were kind of talking about Independence Day because the same filmmakers that also had a toy line. I had a
Yes.
lot of those toys,
Mhm.
but yeah, in that one it's just like, well, here's the aliens and their spaceship. Here's the fighter jets and their spaceship.
Yeah.
That's all you get. And I'm like, they probably learned from this. Like, oh, we probably should have make a toy out of everything.
Yeah.
I think that Independence Day at least had a more kid-centric star.
Yeah, Will
like,
Smith.
I don't know how many kids were like super into Kurt Russell at the time. Like, he wasn't in a lot of like kid property stuff.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Unless you were
unless you were
watching.
like-
well,
Yeah.
because he had grown out of it because he was a child star.
Right. I do think that he would have made a good-looking Duke if they had done a G.I. Joe. movie
Yeah.
at
Oh, that
point.
would have been nice.
Like, if you
Yeah.
ever seen the 90s live-action commercials they did for G.I. Joe,
Mhm.
the guy they got to play Duke is a Kurt Russell stand-in. Like,
Did they ever make any soldier toys?
for this line?
No,
Oh.
for Kurt
Soldier.
Russell's
Oh,
Soldier,
I don't think
which
so.
is technically Blade Runner 2.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
secretly a Blade Runner sequel. I wonder if they just repainted that for the Soldier toys.
They should have. I mean, they already had the tooling and everything.
There you go. Who else do we have down that direction?
We have
Oh,
Daniel.
I know who that is. That's Clark Griswold from Christmas Vacation, obviously, right?
It does look very, very Griswold-esque.
It looks way more like Clark Griswold where he's wearing the hat than it does James Spader.
Yeah, this is the first toy from the line that I ever got, at least recently. I had a couple when I was a kid, but just the art. I was like, everyone else is like muscle bound and it's funny, it's goofy. The art is very like over the top, like very extreme.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he is so muscular and he's supposed to be like this nerdy like, Egyptologist or whatever. It's so great.
It feels a little bit Dennis Nedry with the Jurassic Park line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we have no idea what this guy's going to look like. I mean, he does wear a hat in the movie for some of it, but I would say more identifying of a feature than the hat is like he wears glasses.
Yeah, he
And
wears
there's
glasses.
no glasses on this figure.
And he's always sneezing.
And I think
He's
they
got
make-
allergies.
Yeah.
He cannot see without those glasses. Don't they make a joke in the movie? Like, he literally cannot see without them.
I think so.
I think he
yeah.
But regardless, I'm like, that doesn't look anything like him. Like,
Yeah.
it does seem like they just did a body. He's going to kind of wear
the
this.
the,
and
the figure looks like a
slap the head
G.I.
on
Joe.
him.
The
Right,
picture looks
yeah.
like if Clark Griswold just didn't learn the value of family at the end of
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation and went nuts.
the one
Vacation
detail,
revenge.
the one detail they did give him, he has the necklace sculpted on there.
Okay, yeah.
That's
So
very
that at
good.
least makes sense because that's a big part of
Yeah.
the plot of the movie. He comes with a pyramid collectible artifact,
Ah, yes.
a
'cause you-
spring-loaded missile launcher, a backpack, and a gun recycled from G.I. Joe.
Very
Okay.
cool.
He barely uses a weapon in the movie. Like, he does
Yeah.
old guns a couple times,
Yeah.
but, like, he's loaded for bear here anyway. I think most of the time in the movie he's, like, picking up his books from the sand
yeah.
dunes.
Out of the dust. But
Man, I'm just thinking of like if they made a playset, they could have the teleporter thing.
Yes, that
Remember
would
when
be
they
cool.
cut off that alien's head with the
Yeah.
teleporter? That was
yeah,
awesome.
That was very cool. You could totally have like a Batman Returns like changing booth.
Yeah.
thing. Anything like very simple would be just amazing. Here we have I think it's Scara.
Scara.
And I love I love this action figure because the art doesn't look like the actor.
No.
The figure doesn't look like the art.
Yeah,
So like
doesn't.
none of it makes any sense. And it was funny. I was watching an interview with the actor. He only found out he got the part when the writer producer started showing him like, oh my god, look at all these toys. Oh wow, here's the all the production stuff we're working on. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And he was like, I guess he's showing this to me because am I hired? Or...
Oh,
He's like,
so
yeah,
they
that's
didn't-
why, yeah, of course.
They didn't
You got
even
the
tell
part.
him he got
They
the
didn't
part,
tell
but they're
he-
showing him his action.
Literally, they're just showing action figures to him. He was like, oh, I guess I'm in. Then. Sure.
You're right. He doesn't wear the military stuff until like the end of
It's
the
the
movie.
very last
Yeah.
scene,
Yeah.
basically. He's dressed up like that.
From what I remember, I meant to like watch the show when it hit Netflix, and I didn't get far into it. It's a good show. A lot of things were happening, but I think he's the only actor from the movie who
I
continued
think so,
into the
yeah.
TV show. Yeah, because
Okay.
they recast everyone else.
Yeah.
This would be perfect Justin Long. That figure is so...
Yeah.
It looks like nobody.
would be-
That does
So
look like
ridiculous.
Justin Long.
Yeah.
He's got a harpoon gun for a weapon,
Yeah.
which is recycled from G.I. Joe. But his artifact, I think, might be my favorite because it's the mastige,
Yeah.
like the beast of burden thing. It looks like an idol they might worship. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Were you supposed to have the guys fight over these things, or
I don't know.
It's so bizarre.
Maybe.
And
I
again,
guess,
there's so many guns. I'm like, I don't remember that many guns being in the movie.
I guess you could like bury them all in a sandbox
Lock
or
some,
something.
dig
Like,
for 'em.
there's
I guess so,
some
yeah.
kind of... But you'd have to have like commercials that like show like, look at it, you could dig it up and do all this
Yeah.
fun stuff with it. I don't think so.
Who's next?
Who is this? We got
Anubis.
Anubis.
All right.
Nice.
Lovely, lovely figure.
So he's got the glider as his little item. That at
Okay.
least I feel like you could pretend is some sort of
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like off in the
thing
distance.
to play
or,
with.
you know.
Yeah, he's got a missile launcher that looks like it was newly tooled for this because there was no Joe with a pyramid
Yeah.
missile
Mm.
launcher. So the bad guys really got the better tooling. It seems like.
They look cool. If I was a
They do
kid,
look
I would
very
have
cool.
I would have gotten these just because they look cool, even
When
if they're
I was
bad
a kid,
guys.
that's exactly what I did because
Yeah.
I think they were at KB Toys, and
Yeah.
I bought all of the bad guys we could find there,
Yeah.
Mm.
and I had a couple like multiple Ra's because we just wanted an army of the bad guys. It just looked awesome.
Oh, so there's two Horaces.
There's a pilot version and a
And it's-
guard version.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I did
yeah.
not feel like owning both. I barely felt
Yeah.
like owning all of these. They happened upon
I'm pretty sure Horace. There was only one Horace in the movie, right? And it was that actor Jamon
yes.
Hanzu. So why is he a lighter
He's
shade?
got
He,
two skin
gets
tones.
whiter when he's in the palace.
And their faces look different.
Did they think there were two Horaces? There's
I
only
don't
one
know.
Horace.
That's
That
interesting.
just caught my eye. But that's what I would want, the Ra.
Yeah, and
Even though his face was blank when he had the mask on.
Yeah, this one doesn't really have the removable mask in a way. It
Yeah.
has the helmet comes off, but it doesn't actually reveal the younger kid's face. It
Yeah.
still has the pharaoh face.
And again, this looks like a beautiful pharaoh. Terrible likeness.
It
Yeah,
looks
terrible
nothing like
likeness.
the actor.
Right.
Absolutely awful.
This looks nothing like this is too buff to be that actor. I felt bad for that actor when I was looking this up because like I don't think they ever meant to be like a big star. They did the Crying Game,
Yeah.
which unexpectedly blew them up in popularity. I think they got an Academy Award or was nominated
Yeah,
for
I
an
think they got
Academy
an
Award,
Academy Award.
and that was like too much attention for us. So then they did like Stargate as like a payday,
Well,
and
apparently,
then
the thing I saw was like they didn't want to do the movie. They're like, this fame is too much for me.
Yeah.
I'll do it for $1 million. I don't want to turn it down, but if you give me $1 million,
and
I'll
they
do
just,
it.
They did.
And they were like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great for foreign markets.
He was an up and coming star. He
And,
was
like,
like huge.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I looked at his IMDb. He played like a photographer in a short film a few years
I
ago.
saw that. Yeah.
And then he's a photographer. Like that's what he ended up doing.
Okay.
okay.
But it's crazy to think like they did one little movie, became huge, and then was in this big budget movie, and then they were like, I'm out.
Like, I'm
Goodbye.
If you give me $1 million, I'll disappear forever.
I heard the outfits. He hated the outfits so much that like
They probably suck.
when he wrapped for the day, like there's reports in the set that he would just start stripping in front of everyone just because he wanted to get out of the suits. Like he's just like, all right, we're done. Fuck. He just took
That's
everything off
amazing.
and walked off set.
I think he's got a really good look though.
Yeah.
Like when the helmet comes off, you're kind of shocked. It's like the real King Tut of like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
always it's
Like
such a
boy
young
king.
person.
It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Which I think is a cool reveal.
Yeah. Oh, it's surprising they don't have his like alien form because remember like toward the end he turns
Yeah.
into that alien, and then the TV show changes it to little
Like
belly
instead of a
worms, but-
second Horus, they
Yeah.
should have had an alien form of
Yeah.
some kind.
Yeah, that would have made sense because that looks nothing like him. At
No.
all. This looks like a genie.
It
looks
looks
more
like
like
a
a genie
legit,
than it does
like,
Rob.
yeah.
Like I said, I think this face should have been part of the helmet to reveal
Yeah.
the younger looking head underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, wait. The toy got the blank face right for the mask, but the drawing,
Yeah,
that
he's like,
mask wasn't articulated. It was
Yeah.
blank. They reversed it. They
Yeah.
screwed it up. They reversed it. Oh man, but yeah, I would have loved Raw figure, and he comes with like the spaceship version of the pyramid, so that's cool.
We don't have the wing glider, which is probably the
do
most
not.
impressive
No!
part. Those things used to be really easy to come by,
Yeah.
and now I think people finally started to realize that's like the one good toy from this line, and it's
Yeah.
sort of been snatched up.
The colors are nice, like purple and blue, and
Yeah.
and I think it has gold missiles or something like that, yellow missiles.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
It's definitely is an interesting mold, and it is one of the things that they put a lot of attention into. But with my theory of it being like the Kenner designers, those guys designed all the amazing Star Wars ship toys.
Yeah.
So of course they would have done a great job, doing another spaceship type vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. I kind of want these bad guys. I kind of want to get them.
I'll sell them to you right now.
Wait. What is this stuff? The science.
there's some-
Is it a secret
some
code or something
Clues
like
Okay.
to
that?
solve.
All right, the scientific study remains relics and artifacts of past cultures is as known. So do you have to do like homework?
Drink
here?
more
Collect
Ovaltine.
all 8 figures cards to complete the hieroglyphic alphabet.
Each one has So I have A over here. It's a bird, and B is like a boot shape.
okay.
C is a cat, and D is a glove. So we can start decoding. This is some
okay.
work.
Oh, this is a lot. Yeah.
What is the name of the Egyptian sun god? This says on the car. I mean, that's obviously Ra, right?
Also, did anybody else notice that the little bio triangle card on the back, you cut it out and glue it up with the other
I
ones to make
just
a
saw
pyramid?
that.
Yeah.
So Ryan, you can just cut this open.
I will. I might.
Yeah, we'll just do it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Just totally cut open my toys.
Ryan, we'll just cut it right now. Yeah, I didn't realize that until I looked at it. I'm like, oh yeah, they made it. Wow, they really are trying to get the most out of these toys.
Yeah.
They're like, you're gonna buy every single one of these so you can decode the message and glue your little guy together.
I mean, that might be the most movie accurate part of the whole thing.
That is
Yeah.
kind of yes,
ciphering
because
involved.
what you call it? You needed the codes to plug
Right.
in to go to the
Actually tying it back to the movie a little bit.
yeah. Did they ever make like SG-1 toys?
I think there are a few.
I'm sure there's some
Yeah.
kind of line. Probably not this extensive.
You've
but I'm
opened this
sure.
before. Can I open this
You
up?
can
or
open
something?
it. Yeah.
You've got to see this a little bit.
When I buy some stuff, even if it says it's unopened, it's never unopened. Somebody
Yeah.
always looked in it, and I always make sure like there's actually the figure in there. There's actually
Yeah.
the parts, because I had a friend who was waiting like, oh my, I finally found this amazing toy I've always wanted, and he opened it and it was a brick.
Oh,
It was just a brick wrapped in plastic, and he was like,
oh,
I didn't open this for 3 months. I was so like, oh my god! And I was like,
oh
it was
no!
past the return policy.
I just had it happen on
Oh.
Amazon. I ordered a G.I. Joe classified figure,
Yeah.
and I don't keep up on my opening of stuff that just kind of piles up. And then
Yeah.
I actually shot a video where I was unboxing some stuff, and I open it, and there's a crunched up water bottle and a headless Star Wars guy in the
That's
package.
Awful.
I was like, that sucks.
That feeling is awful. I
That's
just
like-
got the Queen Hive recently.
yeah.
In
Yeah.
the box, and the first I opened it immediately. I was like, okay, everything's in here. It's amazing.
Oh
This-
my
this
God.
is amazing.
I
This is why I
didn't
had to get
expect it to have actual hair.
It's like Cabbage Patch Kid yarn hair.
Awful.
What is? I'm
Awful.
sorry. What is this?
It's the crown jewel of the line.
Sculpture. The
I remember it
sculpture's
having
not
a
bad.
beard. Like,
The sculpture's not bad, but that rug is
yeah, you
terrible.
could have gotten away with just the
Yeah.
sculpture. Like I know it was hairy, but like, Why did they do
I don't know. It's
I
so
love it
crazy.
personally. I think it's
I
I
no.
think it's the toy I need to get in my
I
collection.
love it too. I just was Kevin, I never in a million years.
Again, I'm taking bits.
I was
on
expecting
these toys
hard
right now.
plastic. I was not expecting a wig put on here.
Even like I'm trying to think of like an Ewok's treetop, like a rubber fur or something
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
looks nice and sculpted might be good. 'Cause
Kevin,
it doesn't even move.
Right,
Look.
it's just a statue.
it's
just
soft
fuzzy.
rubber. You can kind of bend it a
Yeah.
little bit. Look, when I eventually lose my hair, I practiced shaving recently, but when I lose my hair, which one of you owns this, Ryan?
I do. Yeah.
I'm gonna come over to your house and be like, hey, can you give me the Mystige? I need a wig, and I just want to wear the Mystige on my head.
That'd be amazing. You should do another poll on Instagram.
Oh my god, it's so
That's
funny.
amazing.
It's
The
so
best toy in the
dumb.
whole line. I love
That
it.
had to be a joke, right? Like, who would approve
Who
that?
knows? And the best part, I bought it. I had never seen the toy out of the box. I had
Okay.
only seen pictures of the box. I was like, I'll buy the one in the box. And
Yeah.
and I got it. And I was like, do they all look like this? What is this? I thought it was
Russell
a
just
practical
has
joke.
yarn
I'm
hair.
like, this is so bad.
But now I'm thinking, like,
Oh.
The box art doesn't even make you think it's that fuzzy.
No.
Yeah, wait. All right, the Bantha toys for Star Wars, were they actual fur? They
so
were
they
plastic.
well, there wasn't one in the 70s. They
Yeah.
never made a bantha, which they should have. But there have been some that are furry, but usually they use more of like faux fur, not yarn.
Not
That's what
yarn.
makes it look so bad.
Yeah.
Yarn would probably make more sense
It
for the
looks like a
Bantha,
90s
though,
rug.
as opposed to this. This is stupid. Yeah, you got to keep that in the box. That's gonna like get shredded.
How many people like gave theirs a haircut? Like girls that would cut Barbie's hair, you know? I'm gonna style my Mystige. That's the commercial. Hey kids, get the
Style
new
your
battle
Mystige.
Mystige. Give him a mohawk, yeah.
If I'm a parent, I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't understand any of those words, but that sounds wrong. What are you trying to do with the
This thing
Mystige?
is so ridiculous.
I want to see.
I gotta get one now.
I want to see that thing in a Toy Story movie. Just come to life. Just moths are coming out of it. I'm being eaten by moths. That is incredible.
That
So
is
did-
that is the high note.
Yeah. Real quick, did you guys like the movie?
I love the movie.
Okay.
I
okay.
did, yeah. I saw it after it was on like home release, but back in the 90s at
Yeah,
some point.
yeah.
You know, probably a year or two after it was out. And I remember seeing some of the toys, but not
Yeah.
really. I never bought any of them.
Yeah, when I revisit it, I understand why it wasn't like a big like success. Like I get it. It is kind of stupid in parts.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a lot of people look back and they're like, "Oh, that was so terrible." And I'm like, "Not that bad."
Not bad. It's just a lot of. It's sold as like this fun action sci-fi thing,
Yeah.
and it's like there's a lot of character stuff. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like,
it was
this
a
guy
little
only took
misleading
the
there.
mission. Like Kurt Russell only took it because he's incredibly depressed.
Yeah.
He's just
Like, it's
gonna
like, well,
die.
this is a weird way to start a fun movie.
Yes. What do you think about these same filmmakers just ripping off themselves for Independence Day? For those of you who don't know, the movie spoiler, the movie ends. They send a nuke to the alien mothership, and then the alien stares at the nuke, and it blows up in its face. Which is exactly what happens at the end of
Yeah.
Independence Day. They literally just copy and pasted
I
their own
mean-
ending of their own movie.
If it works, I guess keep doing it.
Yeah, and then Pacific Rim ripped them off, but that wasn't the same filmmaker.
Yeah,
so
at least it wasn't the same people.
Independence Day at least had happy characters.
That's
Or
true.
for the most part.
And it had,
fun-
like, a-
fun
Yes, fun
characters,
characters.
it had a big disaster, which you don't really think for toys, but it has that big like aerial combat scene
Yeah.
in the middle. So yeah.
The
I-
stakes feel higher too.
Yeah.
In I mean, I guess the stakes are high in this because they do say they're gonna like send the weapon and the minerals back.
Yeah, the mineral,
But somehow that doesn't feel as high stake as when they're actually blowing up stuff that we recognize
Yeah,
on Earth.
exactly.
yeah, we needed to see like an example.
worked.
Yeah.
I actually think it would have been really interesting if the bad guys did fire up the Stargate from our side just to show that they could do it.
Oh yeah.
Because it was one of those things where it was like, he could be bluffing. Like, maybe he
Even-
doesn't know how to work
Even
this
if
thing.
you had somebody, they open it up and send somebody back, and they like start to like stop them, like, oh no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just know that there's somebody back there. Even if you show them for a second, like some guy shows up, everyone is like, what the hell is that?
I think the last Stargate thing they did was a prequel about the lady Catherine.
Okay.
It's like her in like the
Okay.
40s and Ra showing up, but that's like weird that they're doing a prequel because like the show kind of undoes a lot of the movie,
Yeah.
where it's just like the Ra alien is not what he's supposed to be. It's very confusing.
Yeah,
it's
It's
very
hard to
confusing.
do a show
Yeah.
that's that long and not
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
affect the lore a lot.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
step on your own toes a lot.
Yeah.
After was it 17 seasons? We said.
Yeah, yeah. Not counting Atlantis, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. There was another one.
Yeah, I can't remember what the other one was.
Yeah.
I didn't watch like any of them.
I
'cause
know
was like,
Jason
don't know any
Momoa
of these
was in
characters.
Atlantis.
I saw a little bit
Yeah.
of SG1 just because I always liked MacGyver, so I would like
Yeah.
I would watch a few episodes of Richard Dean
Well,
Anderson.
SG1 was weird because it was like it aired on Showtime, and the first episode had like full frontal
Yeah.
nudity, and then it was like on UPN
Yeah,
afterwards.
that's where I
so-
caught it. Was on UPN.
No, no one was buying Showtime subscriptions for the Stargate show. They're like, put it on just network television.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, thanks for bringing all of these.
Of
This was great to
course.
get a chance to check them out.
I will never forget that thing coming out of the box.
It's gonna haunt my nightmares.
glue them on your car as a hood ornament. Just let that hair flow in
It
the
looks
breeze.
like
be
it looks like
funny.
Cousin It is riding a camel. Like it's so stupid.
Do you want to plug anything before we leave?
I will just plug my company, Monster FX, and I'm actually going to give you my best-selling thing, My Pet Blob.
Oh,
Excellent.
I make squishy foam toys, custom toys, props, special effects for independent films, all that kind of stuff.
Wow, as you were saying that, I went to your website and I ordered these, and
Oh
they
my
came
god, they
right away.
arrived right away.
Quick shipping.
Oh my god, this is so.
Yeah.
I got a little Book of the Dead squishy here, and the stuff.
I make lots of fun, goofy things for reasonable prices.
Whoa.
My niece loves this. Whenever I have to clean it every time.
Yeah.
But every time she comes here, because they're teething now, they
Yeah.
just right in there. She
Uh-huh.
just chews on the Book of the Dead. I'm like, oh man, I wonder what happens when she watches that movie.
That's
She's
so
like, oh god.
adorable.
And yes, I'm Tony from Hack the Movies. This is my store. I do a podcast where I talk about movies. Kevin and Ryan have been guests on episodes.
Yeah.
Kevin, you'll be a guest soon because we're going to do the Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
at
I'm
some
looking
point.
forward to doing that.
I still I got to watch all the Ninja Turtle movies.
Yeah, I
Man.
should probably get started on that.
Yes,
again.
I should too. I bought them all recently.
I have. I think. No, I don't have all of them. I have almost all of them.
Yeah, they just put out like a box set of like
That super set at Walmart or whatever.
yeah, and it's
I
like
think.
all of them minus the Michael Bay ones, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I have the Michael Bay 2 set.
Yeah, I think I'm missing the second Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, I think that'll come out after the new movie comes out, so we can just
Okay.
cover all of them.
All right,
We can cover all of them.
I will start watching those right away. Ryan, what episodes were you in? Pack the
I
movies.
was in Tony's favorite movie. We did Fright Night.
Yes,
He
that's right.
begged us. Me and
apparently-
Lobo, Mr. Lobo, did Fright Night.
It was my birthday episode. And I had a copy of Mask of Zorro, but Mr. Lobo decided that my favorite movie was Fright Night.
Okay.
And Ryan just happened to be in the
I just
store
happened
and
to be
also
there.
knew a lot about Fright
and
Night.
it is my favorite movie. So.
So my Fright Night story, my like movie guru people growing up was my best friend's dad.
okay.
He had a huge Laserdisc collection when no one knew what Laserdisc was.
Okay.
Very
Like
cool.
DVD came out and I was like, bonus features? Yeah, I've been watching them for a decade. But he showed us Fright Night one night. My friend's family always ate dinner late, like 9 o'clock, and they'd always watch a movie on like Friday and Saturdays. And we're watching the movie, and all of a sudden it gets to this scene where you can tell there's gonna be some nudity, and his dad goes, "Oh, I forgot about this part." And his mom reaches over while I'm like eating a taco and just covers my eyes. They're like, "Man, Kevin's parents are never gonna let him come over here
And
again."
that woman is gorgeous.
Yeah,
Holy
she wasn't
guacamole.
even on screen for that long.
It wasn't really that
And
long.
then the other pair of boobs in the movie were fake, as we
Yeah,
found out,
yeah.
because the actress still goes to conventions with them as a joke. Yeah, and then we did Bloodsport
we
together.
did Bloodsport. That was fun.
Excellent.
The fakest true story ever told.
Amazing.
All right, guys, in the comments down below, let us know what your favorite toy is. Do you have any Stargate stuff? Do you have any stories from when you were a kid with these toys? And thanks for hanging on the peg with us.